In this video, we're going to discuss a few missing fields that are not on the import templates for pretty much any transaction definition template. So in this case, we're going to use a purchasing template, but it would pertain to purchasing, order entry, or inventory. In purchasing, let's say you're looking to create a import file because you want to import in some subcontract invoices or purchase orders or anything like that. What you'll notice here is when you go into that entry screen and you see your list of your subcontract invoices, regardless of the level that you're at, you have an import button here. And over here, I can click import and I can download the template. So if I go ahead and open up that template, this is a very large template, lots of columns, easy to kind of, think that the field's there and you can't find it. But if I expand on this template and, as of this point, the video was made, Sage has not modified this template yet. We have let them know that this isn't the most latest template and there's missing fields. So hopefully this will change at some point. But right now, if you notice here, we're looking for the PO document entry fields. That's all your detail lines. And you have project ID, you have class, you have customer, you have employee, vendor. There's a lot of columns that, you're going to want to put in when you're putting in an invoice. But if you have a construction subscription, you know that when you're entering in the project, you also need to add the cost code and the task. And what you will notice if you search for these fields in here, they are not on this template by default. Now, sometimes some of the templates you'll notice, just to give you a little advice here, sometimes there is some hidden columns that are after a bunch of the blanks. So you always want to kind of scroll to the right and see if there's any more fields. And we'll see on this template, there's not. So what you'll need to do for this to be able to import successfully is you're going to need to add a couple columns. And the two columns that you're going to need to add is the PO document entry task ID, which is the cost code, but behind the scenes, it's labeled as a task. So let's get back to the project field that we saw earlier. I like to keep them all together here. So you can come into here and find the PO entry project, and I'm going to add two columns, and you can just highlight the columns, click insert, and now I have two columns. And I need two fields here. I need the task ID and the cost type ID. Those are basically the requirements when you're putting in a project. You're going to want to code it to the cost code or task and the cost type ID. So you can use this naming structure right here, or you can confirm the information through a Q&A if you forget what the name of the column needs to be called. But what I usually recommend doing is take this field here and copy it and paste it over and then rename the header. So, the first part of that field stays the same, but the field name you need for cost code is, and it's all caps, task ID. And then the next field you need for cost type is cost type ID. Okay, and that's all you need to do. So basically now you can save this template as, make it your own. I'll just click save here. And now you can proceed to filling out this template and you should have a successful import. But that is a common issue and it will happen not just for purchasing, but well, this is going to be for any purchasing transaction here. It's the same template. And then if I go to order entry and I import, let's say a quick bill invoice, and I do my import, you're going to have a similar template. Just make sure that those fields are in. Now on the revenue side, on the order entry side, it isn't required as much. Most people just import into the project, so it's not as big an issue, but you can import revenue into the cost code and cost type as well. So just make sure that all three of those columns are in your imports and you should be good to go. Thank you.